I'm recording this information so that people who were not able to join us, if they need to hear it, it'll be useful for them, and hence the recording. All right. But as I said, making the lifestyle changes doesn't happen overnight. But, as we start putting into practice small changes in our lifestyle, you'll be surprised within a week how much change has taken place. I mean, it's just like what Clara said, herbs. She's grown herbs before, but now she's putting it in her salad and it's making a difference. And just like that, the amount of water you're drinking, it could be you're not drinking enough, or you're drinking enough but didn't realize that you weren't drinking, or whatever. Making that change is going to make a difference. So, by all means, share that information. Right. So in the past, we've had sessions starting off with the exercise. So let's just sit back and, just relax. Make your toes flat on the ground. Make yourselves comfortable. The back of the small of your back right into your chair, so you're sitting comfortably. And we're going to do 3 different ones today. Normally, we just did the breathing exercises. So we're going to breathe in, hold for 3 counts. Well, first we'll count for 1, then we'll count for 2, so we'll have 3, and then we'll do the shoulder exercises. Okay? So sit comfortably and breathe in. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, let's do some shoulder exercises. All I'm asking is, just where you're sitting, just rotate your shoulders backwards and then forwards. Again, backwards, just round rings, and then forwards. And then the neck rotation. Okay, too many of us are sitting in front of computers, etc. We did some last night as well. So just get your neck forward and then gently roll towards the right first, and then towards the left. Just be gentle with your neck. Okay. Right. So what are we going to be doing today? As I mentioned to you, if you have any questions from the last session, by all means, add to the chat. And if you have any questions which, you remember towards the end, then by all means ask. And then anybody tried to cook brown rice? I talked about brown rice last week, and I also mentioned about dextrinizing the rice. I don't know if anybody tried it. If you did, I should learn how to, see how you can. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm getting thumbs up. And how many have started using spice and herbs, adding to your plate? Thanks, Clara, for starting that off. But yeah, it's just making sure that even if it doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't have to be a lot, just small amounts. And then we very briefly talked about water and that it is a treasure. And we're going to be talking about it more today. And then we're going to be talking about carbs and breakfast as well. Following weeks, breakfast ideas. We're going to look at some breakfast ideas that have already come in today, and then going to see how we can make those changes as well. Temperance. When we come to the next slide about start anew, we'll come across the word temperance, which we've been looking at. And basically the idea is do no harm. We only have one body. We want to make the most of it. So we're just going to protect it. Vitamin D, is it free? And we'll talk about that and some healthy, delicious desserts. If anybody makes any desserts and would like to share it, by all means, do so. Okay. Now, start anew. For those who haven't been with us before, this is what Start Anew is about. It's a mnemonic, because when we talk about a holistic lifestyle, which we're talking about now, we normally go to nutrition as being the important one, but we realize that there are all these other factors which are important as well. So you got S for sunshine, and we've had some today. I don't know about you. I'm not asking for people in the warmer, parts of the world where you have had definitely good sunlight. But then you've got trust in God and its relationships. Then it's A for air, taking deep breathing exercises, and then rest. And this is going to bed at a decent time, taking time off, finding other activities to do, which gives your mind a rest, which gives your body a rest. And we'll talk about that as well some other time. Temperance, as I said, it's doing no harm. N for nutrition. And over here, we talk about a whole foods, plant-based nutrition. E for exercise, W for water. Yeah. So those of you who heard me talk about this before, don't feel too bad when I keep repeating it. It's something that we can learn and we can, sort of be conscious about as well. Talking about carbohydrates, what I'm trying to do over these sessions is, sometimes the terms are used, but and all of us sometimes have a different meaning to it. So I'm just going through basics so that when we talk about it, we understand why these words are important. Two main types: simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. And the difference between the two is simply the size of the number of molecules that it has. The simple carbohydrates, just one, that's monosaccharide and disaccharide, simple sugars, fructose, sucrose, maltose, lactose. And, they can be found in table sugar, candy, syrups. And this is what, when you talk about carbs and people say, oh no, staying away from carbs, it depends on which kind of carbs you're staying away from. And it's these simple carbohydrates, empty, not giving you much, it gives you quick energy, yes, true, but that's not what you want. It's the complex carbohydrates. And these are many single units linked together. Okay, so you between 2 to 10, you've got oligosaccharides, and then you've got the polysaccharides. But it's the complex carbohydrates which are relatively the sustained energy. And that's why when we're talking about, having a good breakfast or having a good meal, what we're talking about is if you have complex carbohydrates, especially, although I was going to say especially for diabetics, it's not especially for diabetics, it's for all of us. But this is where, your body will, find the difference between the simple carbs and the complex carbs. That's why when we're talking about the whole foods, that's the complex carbs, which are important. The peas, the beans, and other legumes, which will sustain you. If you have it for breakfast, it will sustain you until lunchtime. And it doesn't tell you that you need something in between. And you can just hold on to it. The whole grains, the starchy vegetables, the breads, the cereals, the whole grain pastas. Now, if you don't have these in your diet, that's when you rely on your simple carbs, because when you're hungry then and you're going shopping, it's just so easy to pick up a bar of chocolate or, some soft drinks, because they're simple carbs. And you want to, avoid them. Okay. And then we've got, when you're talking about the complex carb, now we kind of know the simple carbs we don't want to really for good health and, for good lifestyle. So when you're talking about complex carbohydrates, you're looking at the fiber and the starch. and the fiber. 2 sessions ago, we talked about grains, and we talked about the fiber, which is critical. Now, the dietary fiber is the fiber that is naturally found in plant cells. And the cellulose forms the structures that give plants their shape and its main component of dietary fiber. Vegetables such as green beans, broccoli, and spinach contains less starch, but they have more cellulose or fiber. And then your digestive system can't break the cellulose part. That means that having non-digestible fiber in your digestive tract slows things down. And that's what that's what you want. Gastric emptying, the speed at which the food leaves your stomach, slows down as absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. And then that helps because then you're not feeling hungry all the time. Okay. And then starch is used by plants to store energy. Starches are found in a food such as garbanzo, which are the chickpeas. And chickpeas are really good. They can be used for so many things. Even the ground chickpeas. I know we as Indians use chickpeas a lot. But when you actually look at the advantages of chickpeas, and recently somebody gave me a book. Actually, it was just a chapter in a book, because I was doing some research really at the time of when my husband was not very well. And it was amazing to see what garbanzo beans do. They can even change the structure of your cells. So when it comes to cancer, etc., these are absolutely amazing. So, using them now as a precaution is wonderful. So you've got those chickpeas, lentils, barley, corn, oats, wheat, vegetables also contain starch, such as carrots and potatoes. They can be added during processing or in preparation to thicken, when we're making soups, if you want to just quickly thicken the soup with potato, etc. Starches are digested and absorbed by the human body relatively quickly, although not as quickly as simple sugars. As a result, starchy foods like white bread, pasta could result in blood sugar spike, like eating something that is high in sugar. I don't know. We will talk about this later, when we come to the thing. No, in fact, I will wait because of the juices. People who are sensitive to sugar often avoid starchy foods, as most starchy foods are rapidly broken down into sugar. Okay, so this is your chance. If you can, if you're here and you want to contribute as part of the thing, please do. Some of you sent me some lovely pictures about breakfast, because we had said, can we have a look at what people are having for breakfast? And some of them look so lovely. You can use it as a breakfast. You can use it as a dessert after a main meal as well. Patricia, stewed rhubarb, summer fruits, muesli like crumble. So you topped it up like crumble, I guess, with pumpkin and sunflower. And you've got pineapple, natural yogurt, peanut butter on wholemeal bread. I mean, when I looked at some of the breakfasts, I thought to myself, as they said, and we will come to it because we're talking about breakfast today, how much you eat at breakfast time and the quality of the food that you're having as well is so important. So you've got over there, you've got your fruits, you've got your wholemeal bread, you've got your muesli, and you've got your seeds, you've got your good fats all together as well. And Iris, you're whizzing the banana, apple, dates, kiwi with the cashew nuts and hazelnut. I thought to myself, and then you can use it as she suggested. You can put it on rice cake. I don't think you need any manuka honey after all those fruits, Iris, but you can tell me why. I mean, manuka honey is good for you, but what we need to watch as well, if you have cancer, or people who have cancer, then although these fruits are brilliant when like now what we're eating, if you have, it can, people vary in this, but I was recommended not to have any fruit during my recovery, because all it cancer thrives on sugar. And although fruit sugar is different from the simple sugars, or the Tate and Lyle kind of sugar, it is still sugar. So you've got to be careful of the amount of fruit you're having. Now, if you have cancer and going through recovery, having the green apples or northern fruits, or the berries, all kinds of berries, no problem. Same thing with watermelon, because watermelon, they've done a lot of studies with watermelon, partly because it's got lots of water as well. And then red grapes with seeds. And, there's a whole book written on cancer and protection from cancer with red grapes as well. So, and then tahini, I forgot to mention the tahini is the natural, the good fat again that is being used. Okay, next slide. Isabel's wholemeal spell. Doesn't it look lovely? Lots of color, the reds and the greens, particularly good colors to add to your diet. The wholemeal spelt toast. Can't see the black-eyed beans, Isabel. You can just about see it, and the black-eyed beans, I think, are cooked with garlic, ginger, miso, Italian herbs, and olive oil. Isabel, if you're there and you want to comment, by all means. And then it's freshly chopped parsley on top, hemp seeds, and chopped tomatoes. Now, after seeing these pictures, I thought to myself, I must try some of this, because this is more savory for me. So breakfast time, I like it to be, I find it difficult, should I say, to have savory things first thing in the morning. So I was trying, but mine didn't look as attractive as this at all. Well done. And you've got the avocado as well. Again, with cancer, what they recommend is, this is for people who are going through recovery, have avocado, yes, but nothing more than half an avocado a day. Or just the amount of avocado that you have. Again, do your own research on it. This is what I was told, when I was going through recovery. Okay, next one, Lavona. Pancakes with coconut jaggery and cashew filling and bananas. Really nice. My question here, if you can't answer, Lavona, and you want to answer me later, will be fine. But are the pancakes plant-based, in the sense, has it got egg and milk, or is it without? Because I know there are some people who do not have egg and milk, and so it'll be very useful to have that recipe. But I did one for my mother this morning. It was more savory than sweet, and that was using chickpea flour, and that was very nice as well. Also, you've mentioned homemade cereal. So is this like, various grains that you have put together, or like a muesli? So just a question. Grapes, and I notice it's red grapes. Red grapes are particularly, we talked as a general rule, the darker the color of the fruit or vegetable, the better in the sense it's got more nutrients than the other ones. So, having not that you shouldn't have the green grapes, but the red grapes have just that edge over them. Next one, Steve. Quinoa boiled with turmeric and olive oil. Yeah, I was thinking about that, because I've never actually used quinoa in that sense until I saw Rani's post making the quinoa biryani. And I tried it, but mine did not taste, didn't look as nice as Rani's at all. So I'll have to go back and learn how to do it. John, you just asked about black. Yes, red, black, is fine, but it's the darker colors rather than the lighter colors of grapes. And then the sweet potato and the gram. Do you use a lot of gram in Kenya? I wasn't sure. Lovely to see the salad coming through and the smoothie as well. Antonia, yeah, you mentioned about your not juice, it's a smoothie. You've got all the great super things like spinach, kale, broccoli, beetroot. Wow. I'm just curious, you don't have any fruit in that, so is that does it taste all right? I know you've mentioned the mango, apple, pears, berries. Are they going into the things with the smoothie? Sorry, it is with the smoothie. So that'll help to sweeten it. Otherwise, it'll be quite strong. Now, another question is, do you add all that to the same, or you vary the sweetness with the type of smoothies you make? And then porridge, lovely, and made with soya milk and the banana and flaxseed as well. Brilliant. Just think, if you have this kind of breakfast, it's really going to take you through the whole morning. Suggestions. After 12 or more hours without food, our bodies need renewed energy and replenishing of nutrients so that the body functions can be carried out properly. And the stamina and strength for the day's activities can be obtained in no other way but to start with a good breakfast. Now, the reason I've put that there is because many people, including me sometimes, say, ooh, can't face breakfast. So if that is your mental state, or that is what you will normally say, think about what has happened 12 hours before. A good breakfast is dependent on what happened the previous evening. So you've got to look at what your routine is for the previous evening. What time are you eating? How late is the last meal that you're having? Because that will determine how hungry you are first thing in the morning. If you've eaten very late, and I know I have lots of friends and family, in fact, they will eat that late. The kids have even gone to sleep, and if they haven't eaten, they will wake the children up just for them to eat, because they said they shouldn't go to bed on an empty stomach. However, think about it. If you go to bed just before you go to bed, you're going to eat. You think you're going to sleep, but your stomach and the different organs in your body have to continue working, and you can't get a proper night's sleep if your body is still functioning. And hence, it's recommended that you have your last meal at least 4 hours before you go to bedtime. Okay, now when we are on lockdown, it might be easier said than done. Easier, while as if you're working, then it becomes much harder. But a breakfast that is composed of unrefined foods and equals half of your food intake for the day will also have the following benefits. Now, I've put over there 1/3 to half of your food intake. The reason I've said that is because some people like me, have 2 meals a day, and that's sufficient. So you have a good breakfast, and then you have a good afternoon or evening meal, and then that keeps you going for the next day, so your body can have a complete rest in between that time. Some people can't, because we get so used to having 3 meals a day, and probably a snack before going to bed, or sometimes snacking right through the day. Your stomach does not get a break. And so if you're having 3 meals a day, then 1/3 of that, the good nutrition you're having, is for breakfast. If you're having 2 meals a day, then half of your food intake for the day will have to be breakfast. And that's why, when we looked at the various pictures of having the good fats, the good grain, the whole meal grains, the salad, really, really makes a difference. So that's increased sense of well-being, better work performance. Studies prove this true for school children. Factory worker studies show less accidents occur when they've had a good breakfast, less desire to overeat later on in the day, decreased desire to eat between meals, better weight control, better disposition, best of all. Because you can be really miserable if you haven't. You don't recognize sometimes your how you feel until somebody else might notice it. So, but if you've had a good breakfast, you've got a good start. Your car's not going to function well if on an empty tank. That's that we know for a fact. So why should your body as well? Number one secret: an exhausted, empty tummy never feels like a kingly breakfast. Your stomach needs to sleep all night. Unless your last meal has been completely digested before you go to bed, and that's why I said 4 hours before, your stomach, small intestines, large intestines, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas have to keep working, with the exception of the bowels. These organs need rest as much as your muscles, eyes, and brain need it. So there's a reason why you need to have an evening meal much earlier. A lighter meal in the evening, the better, and plan it several hours before going to bed. You will be rewarded by a healthier digestive system, healthy enough to feel like a good breakfast. Yeah, Rani, you said breakfast like a king. True breakfast like a king, but you cannot have breakfast like a king unless you make sure your previous evening has been taken care of. Another secret: isn't it refreshing to wash your face and brush your teeth and take a cold shower in the morning? Well, hot shower. Your stomach likes that too. So after all, it needs it after all the food it handles. So 2 glasses of warm water, 20 to 30 minutes or more before breakfast, will not only give you a good start on your quota of water for the day, but it will refresh and prepare your digestive organs for a healthy breakfast. If you aren't used to it, start with just 1/2 a glass for the first couple of days and increase gradually. So it is essential. I mean, for me, I always say, when you're having a shower, you're cleaning your outside, but how are you cleaning your inside? And having warm water or water first thing in the morning just helps to flush your system. It helps you to go to the toilet more easily. You're not constipated because it's not just the starch that you need the water and the starch to get rid of all the toxins and clear your bowels as well, which are essential. Okay, and then I noticed in some of your breakfast things, you all had the super seeds and nut mixes. You can have, a variety of seeds and nuts, flax or linseeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, Brazil nuts, chia seeds. What I actually do, I don't know if you'll do it, but I grind my at home, I'll just take some flax seeds, some chia seeds, some sesame seeds, or sometimes it can be a combination of these walnuts, almonds, and then grind it and put it in a, like these jars that we have, the jam jars. I'll just put it in there and leave it in the fridge. And then for breakfast, you can just sprinkle over it or over your salads as well. Great way of utilizing these. Make seed bowls. Yes, I will do one of these seed for our demos. Today we were going to have a demo, but we had a slight hitch. And then when I looked at the amount of slides I had, I realized that, we won't be able to fit it in. Okay, so that was breakfast. It will be nice if those who haven't shared your thing, and if you want to share your breakfast ideas, that would be great. But try and see what else can you add to your breakfast, making sure that you can increase your breakfast, slowly probably, because I'm more of a fruit person in the morning, and give me any fruits, a big bowl of fruits or whatever, along with some of the seeds and nuts, and that'll do me fine. But that's just me. We went through this very quickly last week. I'm hoping we'll just spend a few more minutes thinking about how important water is. What I haven't looked at, this is not that I have forgotten, but I haven't had a chance. No, I didn't have enough time to add to this another aspect of water, which we haven't looked today, but we will look at it next week. Is any water all right? So keep that in mind. Yeah, we want to prevent dehydration. So they say have adequate water. And the adequate water, the general rule is 8 by 8. So that's 8 ounces of 8-ounce glass, 8 times a day will give you roughly 2 liters. But that includes herb teas. And but if you don't have enough water, what will happen is you could have side effects: nausea, fatigue, constipation, headaches, dizziness. Sometimes you actually your body gets used to not having enough water in the body, and what it will do is almost say, my body's not going to get enough water, so let me be in this desert mode wherein I preserve as much as I can, and so you don't feel thirsty. So feeling thirsty is not an indication that you're dehydrated. In fact, if you do feel thirsty, then you've really gone past how much water you should be having regularly. And then hydrotherapy, yeah, I briefly mentioned about if you have a headache, water can be used in other ways, like having a bath and washing, etc. But you could just have a bowl of hot water and put your feet in this bowl of hot water. I mean, hot water should be, just enough for you to be able to cope with the heat, and then put some ice cubes or strips of cold strips on your head. And amazingly, depends why you have the headache, please, don't do this on it could be for various reasons, but it definitely helps. You could have a headache because you've not had enough water. You could have a headache because you haven't slept well. So you need to take those various things into account. So how much water should you drink? What is adequate? Is adequate, the 8 by 8 rule, is it true for all of us? What about children, etc. as well? Yeah, health authorities say 8 by 8 rule, which is 2 liters, half a gallon. The WHO, that's the World Health Organization, says 6 to 8 large glasses to maintain normal fluid balance. And but then think about those who are doing a lot of exercises, those who are in where the temperature is very high, or where firefighters are needed to go and do a job. So that will vary. But when I say firefighters, that immediately brings to mind, in the fire stations, they have a table, a color chart, that people can check the color of their urine. And if the urine is not light, it's quite dark, that means you don't have enough water in your system. But you've just got to keep that in mind. If you're drinking plenty and regularly, your urine will be much lighter. And except if you are on certain medications where the urine can be quite dark, in which case that'll confuse you, So just make sure if you are on medication, you need to take that into account as well. But depending on the weight, because for a slim person, for a lean person, or for an obese person, is the amount the same? So the general guideline again is between half an ounce to an ounce of water for each pound you weigh. So for example, if you weigh 10 stones, you multiply it by 14, so you get 140 pounds. So the amount of water should be between 70 and 140 ounces. But if you don't want to calculate, it's roughly 2 to 4 liters. Okay, I just wanted to share that as an another thing that you need to think about. Fluid, and when you say fluid, what all is included: coconut water, pure juice not diluted with sugar, lemon water, pomegranate juice, cranberry juice, orange juice, peaches. Now all these juices have their own advantages anyway, so if they're pure juices, then by all means they are included as part of the fluid intake. Water is a part of every cell. It transports all the foodstuffs to the cells, and the operations within the cells occur in a watery state medium. Substances in the body have to be maintained in the solution, and secretions and waste must be carried out the cells by water. So can you imagine everything that you think about, water is essential. So when you say you don't like water or you're not drinking enough water, just consider your body. For an obese person, the body weight is only about half the water, which I found interesting. So it's only 55% body weight for an obese person. However, for a lean person, the body contains about 70% water. So I think lean people have a start over the obese person. So what it means is that means if you're obese, then you need to drink more as well. So approximate daily water losses for an adult in a temperate climate, it will vary slightly, and we've got to take that into account. But perspiration's 2.1 cups. Water lost from lungs by exhaling is 1.7 cups. Water lost with feces and with urine is 6.8, almost 7 cups. So if you want it in liters, it's 0.5 liters or 0.237 liters, 1.4 liters. The total daily water lost is 10.6 cups. That's 2.5 liters. So if you think that you're losing so much and you're not drinking enough, just think how your body, have you ever been outside, when it hasn't rained and there's a puddle of water? That stagnated water is yucky. And that's how our blood becomes sluggish, because we're not drinking enough. So, keep in mind that the benefits of the water: it lubricates the joints, arthritis, diabetes, blood pressure. All of these things will benefit from having more water. It cushions the brain, the spinal cord, and other sensitive tissues, forms saliva and mucus, regulates the body temperature, boosts the skin health and beauty, flushes body waste. You get rid of the toxins because of water. Digestive system depends on it. Airways need it. Makes minerals and nutrients accessible. Prevents kidney damage. And that kidney damage, um, um, very painful. I know friends of mine who've got kidney problems, and that damage is very, very painful, when people get kidney stones, etc., because the kidneys are not flushed properly. Lots of reasons for it, but one of the main reasons is water as well. Weight loss, reduce the chance of hangovers. Absorption, this is interesting as well. Water, it helps with the absorption of vitamin B and C, and it's an important component of the blood as well. So, water is very useful. So we come finally to the action steps. I come back, we've had this before, and that's why I asked in the beginning, have you made any changes? And that is what these action steps are. If you are eating fruit and veg, brilliant. But if you're not eating enough, so the target is between 9 to 11, then increase it by one piece of fruit or start off with vegetables, because it's easier to eat fruits than it is to have vegetables. And then if you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, then how about trying a smoothie, a green smoothie, a red smoothie, whatever. But that is encouraging you to have more fruits and vegetables. And then salads, whether it's fruit salad or green salad, red salad, whatever. Salads, again, they've got more water. Water in them, so you're increasing the fluid intake as well. Yes, Rani, I just picked up your thing saying not to eat fruits with meals. It's the habit used to be, even if you're having a sandwich, you have a sandwich, a packet of crisps, and an apple. That is habit. But what would be better is have the apple first, and then give it a break, and then have your sandwiches, because that's, the fruits do not take very long to digest. So, by having it first, it's quickly digested, and then you have your cooked, as in your sandwich, different matter altogether. However, if you have the fruit later, then some people recognize it more than others, but it's not the best for digestion. It's not the best for the absorption of the fruit as well. And then water, as we're talking about water, increase the levels of water. And even if it means just a cup of water, then increase that water intake. And exercise. Now is a good time. You're in lockdown. You're not under the same kind of pressures. So even if you're working from home, it means you can stand up and walk around. Even if you're at work, really, you can't stand up and walk around. But, please do it. And, before I just open the thing for everybody to share, today is Tuesday, so UK time, 7 to 8 p.m. I'm on hopefm.org.uk. The objective of this whole exercise is letting food be your medicine and medicine your food. It's an internet-based radio program, so if you want to watch it, but if you miss it and don't have the time this evening in an hour's time, then you can watch it on the replay on Friday from 1 o'clock. But I've done all the talking, and that's too much talking, I know. So let's have you asking questions or sharing comments, or just to see how we got on. Now, you can unmute yourself if you want to talk, if anybody has any questions. I'm just looking at the chats. Expand. Okay, anybody? Yeah, because somebody asked how they can get on the Facebook page. Hannah has put it on the chat. Yeah, Rani, you've said you cook brown rice for a long time. When you say long time, how long is long?
It's been for a few years now that I moved on to brown rice.
Okay.
Yeah. My boys don't like it.
Yeah, I have that problem too. However, I recently, in one of the instant pots, I made like a vegetable pulao with brown rice. Actually, no, not vegetable pulao. I shouldn't be saying this, but some of my friends who can cook rice and peas much better than I can, they keep promising to send it to me, but they don't. So I'm not pointing out my fingers to anybody, but I decided to, make rice and peas in that cooker. And boy, that brown rice was delicious. It wasn't, but I did dextronize. I do find dextronizing the rice makes it softer, and it's more fluffy as well. And, you said about the quinoa pudding. So
yes.
How did you do that?
Well, the thing was, I didn't want to use sugar, the white
Yes.
sugar,
Yes.
and neither do I want to use milk,
Yeah.
because milk is not good for you.
Yeah.
And when they asked me to do something, and I thought, how do I make something different that they
Yeah.
won't realize what I have done? So
Yeah.
I did use coconut milk,
Lovely.
and I cooked quinoa a bit more than the normal quinoa, so
Yeah.
they couldn't really make out.
Yeah.
I used a lot of nuts and raisins and everything in it,
Ah.
and I used coconut sugar a little bit,
Okay. Okay.
because coconut sugar is good, they say.
Yeah.
It's not the refined one. So it's
Yeah.
the direct palm sugar. And
Lovely.
it turned out to be very, very nice. And they didn't realize quickly enough that it wasn't rice, it was quinoa.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Recently, I've started because my mum can't chew very well. I use only a small cup, but a small cup of no, I have to use white rice. She will not eat brown rice. A small cup of quinoa and a same amount of lentils, and then cook them together. You know, like khichdi. And that's soft enough. She doesn't recognize it's got quinoa, but it's got extra protein,
Proteins.
and it's soft to chew as well. So that's very good. Yeah. Um, Steve, you did. You said you're using plant-based milk. Which one, Steve, did you use?
Okay, I used soya, but
Okay.
actually it was a bit sweet, so I wanted to ask, is it okay if it is, because I think it's been sweetened. I didn't know. When I went to the store, I just picked it.
Yeah.
Then I used it with my cereals, and I
Yeah.
realized it's a bit sweet. So it flavored, it's milk flavor. I'll send you the photo on the WhatsApp. So I just wanted to ask, is it okay if it has some sugar in it?
Yeah, what you might find, Steve, is that some of them are sweetened with fruits, you know, like grapes or apples or whatever. So just check.
The one I got was banana.
Oh, well, if it's, yeah, it's sweetened with banana, so that should be okay.
Okay.
But just check to make sure that there's got no, what do you call it, sugar in it.
Okay.
Just so that
All right.
there's also the other thing is, you know, sometimes you're just making um, making all these various changes. Trying to make, um, uh, what should I say, it's good to be able to you know, try different things, so there is things that you can compare as well, but just
Yeah.
look at the contents to make sure that there is no sugar.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know if the ones who we talked about their breakfast would like to make any because what I didn't put the picture up was, I don't know if Eric is still on the line, but he made this I was going to put his pictures over here, and I must have put it on the Facebook, about the smoothie that you made. You know, it was a fruit smoothie for the kids, and the layers looked really attractive. Um, and the question was, you know, is that too much sugar? See, there's a difference between juicing and smoothies. When you juice it, you're taking all the fiber out. While as when it's come to smoothies, you have the fiber in. So the spike is not the same as if it's just, so if you had juiced I can't remember the mango, I can't even remember the fruits that were used. But if you just juice them, then that would have been uh, you know, quite different than when it came to a smoothie. I think the smoothie keeps the um, what do you call it, fiber, so it's better than having the juice. I know some
Naomi?
yeah,
Yeah, basically it's in Ethiopia, and
yeah,
I'm sure probably in Kenya as well. They have actual like bars where they make the drink,
yes,
and it's just that, so they make smoothies with layers of and then they layer it into a
yes,
glass, and people just enjoy it. It's very
yeah.
nice.
Oh, thanks for showing. Yeah, so that did look attractive, don't you think? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean I can't claim any part of this at all. My wife made. All I do was put the pictures up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean it's a nice way of using fresh fruit and getting them to have things they may not normally have.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
through doing it that way.
Yeah, actually, just go back to that picture, because since Eric is speaking, he can tell us about the what was that other grain, Eric? This one,
Oh,
yeah,
the teff.
the teff. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's it, over a number of years, they've found it to have all kinds of health benefits
It
for
does.
weight loss and
Yeah.
health, etc., and minerals.
Yeah.
But simply, it's a pancake. It's a sourdough
Yeah.
type pancake.
Yeah.
It takes about 3 days to create a batch.
Yeah.
But it's very nice if you're eating spicy food or vegetarian food, because it kind of enhances the flavour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's fun if you have a family, if you have a group of people, you literally eat around one plate
Yeah.
and use your hands and feed each other, and it's a lot of fun.
It is. It is. Yeah. For this is teff, and but it's a millet, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. In India, we use that as well, but we don't make pancakes like that. We just make bhakar instead. It's a bread that is made. And the reasons I'm highlighting that is it's a different grain that we get stuck into, using the same grains all the time. So it's a different grain that can be used in our foods. Yeah.
Can I just say one other thing very
Yeah.
quickly, is that you'll see the white teff is very expensive. I saw someone post in the group how much it costs. And the red teff,
Yeah.
my taste buds, is very pleasant. The black one is a bit gritty, the one that you get here.
Okay.
And it's not so pleasant. But the red teff makes just as nice injera, I think. And it's a lot cheaper from the Asian shop.
Okay. Lovely. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Now, can I don't know if can people unmute themselves if they want to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to tell Eric I've tasted injera and I like it. I've tasted both white and the brown one. I call it the brown one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So do you use it as well in Kenya?
Yeah, I have Ethiopian friends, so I get it from them. I haven't made any myself. They tell me it's a complicated process, so I didn't bother.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of these days, we'll ask Nina to demonstrate how to use it, because when you know how, everything seems so much easier. But it's just so that we get the variety of grains, really. I was thinking this. I personally think having that variety is great. And I'm just quickly going through the what do you mean by dextronize? John, you weren't here last week. I've said about dextronizing is when you take rice in a pot and literally just in quotes brown rice. You know how when you fry onions and you're just browning them, so the rice is the same. You're just browning the rice, but no oil, no water. You're just sauteing it in an empty pan. And just like you can hear the corn pop, you can hear the rice pop, and that's when you know it's done. You don't have wait till all the rice is popped as well. Okay.
Naomi, can I ask what's the benefits of that?
Of dextronizing the rice? It's easier for the body to digest it. Also, when you're cooking it, when it cooks, I think what it does is it changes the structure of the grain, and that's why it's more easily absorbable by the body. And also, when you cook it, then the rice is just fluffs up better. So when people say the rice is very chewy, some people don't like that. This way you don't find it chewy. It's just
right. Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah. Okay. And is there Clara, you've asked, is there any way to use the pulp after juicing? Yeah, you can make cakes out of it. Clara, I'm not sure you want to, because I remember when I used to do these food demos and people used to get really upset. You can't throw away all that pulp, they would say. But really, it's got, apart from fiber, nothing else. If you've got a good juicer, then you've taken all the nutrition away, and it's only the fiber that's left. So you know, apart from fiber, there is nothing left in the pulp. So that's why when sorry.
I was just going to say, I make crackers.
Yes.
Instead of buying crackers, I make crackers. So I take all the, especially if it's all vegetables, before
Yes.
I do the fruit, take the vegetables
Yes.
and just add a little bit of water.
Yeah.
And then parchment paper, 2 layers of parchment paper.
Yeah.
Roll it out, score it with a pizza cutter.
Yeah.
And just bake it for about 4 hours on low, very low.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do with raw food when I'm doing when I have my what do you call it, dehydrator. What you could do is mix these things with some herbs, a bit of salt maybe, and then you you know, roll it out and let it dehydrate. And then what you can also do, because sometimes it doesn't, depending on what the fiber is of, you could take flaxseed, grind the flaxseed. You know, we talked about different seeds which are good. If you grind them and add that to it,
yeah,
actually you can hold it, you know, like a cracker. And it's great. So if you're having smoothies or salads, everything, you know, you've got something you know, to go with it. And if you're going on a, in quotes, you know, smoothie, or if you're going to lose weight, or you want to have a cleanse, you want to have a break from all this, you could just have these flax crackers with water or with juice all day, just for a day. Just gives that stomach a break from the regular cooked food that you're giving it, especially when you feel your stomach, you know, is crying out for a break. Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
As you said, cancer thrives on sugar.
Yes.
Which fruits am I supposed to take?
Okay. What would be best is any berries, like blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, because these berries are very high in antioxidants. That's why berries are okay. And in fact, not okay, they're actually, it'll enhance the amount of you know, antioxidants that you can bring into your meal. In some ways, you can call it almost, you know, it's a must to have it. Now, it just depends if you're in that part of the world where you can or can't have it. But if you go to the freezer section, sometimes you will find that you will find berries in the freezer section. All berries are very high in antioxidants. But what they have also said is the red grape, and it's the red grape with seed. Over here, we call them globe. That's the variety, but you might find other varieties. Now, you find it over here, you find it very difficult to get grapes without seeds, because everybody is going, you know, without seeds. But that book which talked about cancer cures, it actually quite specifically mentioned red grapes with seeds, and you have it with the seeds and the skin. And you might be able to try and locate that book if you want. But yeah, those are the main fruits that actually they have done the things on watermelon as well. So you know, it's got the red skin and you know, lots of water. So that as well. But the others.
So watermelon is good for me? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between juicing and the smoothie?
Okay. I'll actually demonstrate it next week because I think it's very important. People get mixed up between the two. With juicing, the juicer you have is you're putting the fruit or vegetable in one end, the other end, you're getting the juice, and the juice is separated from the fiber. Okay, so that's what the machine does. And if you don't have a machine and you want the juice, what you can do is blend it and then put it through a sieve and just take all the juice out. And then what is left in the sieve is the fiber, and you don't want that. You know that not you don't want that. That is the difference. In a smoothie, you know what you do is you just put everything in the blender and then just blend it with water or whatever, or the type of fruits and vegetables you're having. And then that will keep the fiber and everything. So, and you drink all of it. That's
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And with cancer in mind, I would say if you are doing a special session, should I say, or a period of time, which is specifically trying to give your body a break, I would say you can have, say, a few days of just juicing, not smoothies, just juicing, and plenty of water. What you're doing over here is you're giving your body a break from having to cope with digesting cooked food. You're giving the nutrition, okay? So you're changing the terrain, as they said. You're changing the fluid in your body to give it just full nourishment. So your cells are getting just full nourishment without you having to go through digesting. So like, by the time you have breakfast, you've hardly left 4 hours there, and then you're ready for lunch. And if you've had anything in between, you've not even digested your breakfast properly, then you've had your lunch. And then you, without realizing it, it's tea time, but in between tea time, in the evening meal time, and between lunch and the evening meal, you might have had something to eat, which means your stomach just has not had a break. That is not good for the stomach. The stomach has to have a break wherein it does its work and has a rest. That's why when we're talking about going to bed at a decent time, if you're going to bed at 10 o'clock, then the last meal should be 6 o'clock. Because then it's taken time to digest, then it's empty, and now it's ready to sleep. And then in the morning, you're definitely ready for your breakfast.
Mm.
Yeah?
Okay.
Good.
I just wanted to share, Naomi, since I've had the juicer, I've been doing organic ginger, juiced ginger with, let's say, a piece of ginger that's maybe an inch.
Yeah.
And half an apple.
Yeah.
And just take that like a shot.
Yeah.
And the difference it's made on inflammation in the joints.
Absolutely.
Especially
yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We call it a ginger shot. And was it Pascaline who were just talking? Pascaline, you could do that as well. It will really make a difference to you.
Yeah. I do it every morning. In fact, I keep a batch and just every morning, ginger shot.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Patricia, your hand is up. Sorry, I didn't see you earlier on.
No, that's okay. Just to say, the only place I've seen grapes with seeds at the moment is Asda, but they don't always have them. And they do seed black grapes normally. I haven't found them anywhere else at the moment.
Patricia, when you say black grapes, do they have seeds in it, or are they seedless?
Seeded.
Oh, seeded. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Okay. Seeded, so red or black seeded would be great. Yeah. I used to find them only in the market, before. So, and now we can't go to the market anyway. I mean, I haven't been to the market for a long time, but it used to be in the outside market. Yeah. Okay.
I have seen them in Lidl, the red seeded grapes.
Okay.
In the past. I don't know whether they still have them.
Okay, probably goes through what is available as well, and what's in season, I guess. Yeah.
Can I
Patricia?
I was going to say, can I ask another question about the ginger shot?
Yes.
So you have half an apple, an inch of ginger, and then you juice it. And you have that.
Yeah, I normally juice it. Yeah.
And then you just have that first thing, and it's really good for your joints.
It's good for your joints. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And literally, it'll be just a shot, as it were. An ounce or something, because you don't get that much juice out of it, but you just knock it down. It's strong, but
it is.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. And that's why I mentioned, and it's good with cancer in mind as well, because ginger is so strong. It does some of the same things that chemotherapy does, but folks, I'm not saying don't go for your chemotherapy. I'm just making I'm just sharing with you how good ginger is. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, when you're on about watermelon, because a lot of watermelon now comes without seeds. I'm presuming that when you mentioned watermelon, it was watermelon with the seeds.
Good question.
Or is it just the watermelon?
Well, because of the lycopene, you see, that is why watermelon is good. Like the tomatoes, the lycopene. And the same thing with tomatoes are particularly good with for cancer because of the lycopene, and that's when that watermelon is mentioned in that context.
But that's not very good for your joints, is it?
Well, you see, now tomatoes come in the nightshade family.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that everybody deals with the nightshade in the same way. So you need to check for yourself if, because there are some people who will, so when I say, in case people don't know what a nightshade family is, the nightshade family is tomatoes,
peppers,
aubergines, peppers, yeah.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
The potatoes.
Okay, but not the ordinary potatoes. And so if you are in a lot of pain with arthritis, etc., what they say is try and take it out. So what I would say is take it out, like an elimination diet, and then introduce it slowly, but give it good time, just one at a time, just to see how your body reacts. But if you're just take it off and see if you benefit from it, fine. But if not, then the other thing as well is some people find, again, that's why you need to check yourself and really learn to listen to your body, really. When it comes to tomatoes, although it's in the nightshade family, raw tomatoes will react differently to cooked tomatoes. So, and again, cooked tomatoes, you get more lycopene, so you want the cooked tomatoes as well. Okay, I've just realized what the time is. It's 6:15. Lovely to have all of you. It's really a pleasure to be with you and, share, these little nuggets, should I say, and learn from you as well. So by all means, keep in touch. I've forgotten your name. JJ Stock. My friend from America, I've just noticed she was on the line. Thank you. Yeah, lovely to see you as well. We will do more sessions. We will do some raw sessions as well, because I know various people have shown an interest in that, and we will do that as well. So any more pictures, by all means on Facebook or on the WhatsApp would be good. And even if you're not putting any pictures, go to the WhatsApp page and just have a look, because it gives you ideas. You get bored with your own breakfast and you get stuck in their own things. So by looking at it and sharing, you're able to change as well. Hopefully, to a better breakfast or better lunch, or just reminding yourself that you need salads in your thing as well. Patricia, your hand is up. You were going to say something? No? Okay. All right. So until then, if you have missed any of the sessions and you would like, I'm putting all these sessions on YouTube now for those who cannot go onto the Facebook page, so you'll be able to benefit from it as well. Thank you so much for joining, and look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday, same time. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely to have seen all of you. Really nice. Bye-bye.
Okay. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.